Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Nick Barton. I cover the Toronto Marlies for the Leafs Nation, but in today's video, we're going to go a little bit different. We're going to break down what the Maple Leafs did at the NHL trade deadline. Now, before we do get into it, I just want to thank you all for the support in the last two videos, the one on Källgren and the one on the Marlies. I asked in my most recent video, if we get hit 40 likes, we almost hit 100, which is bananas, and I want to thank you all so much for that. To make things more interesting though, let's set a like goal for this video of 100 likes. 100 likes, let's see if we can hit it. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you really enjoy these videos. Looking at the Maple Leafs deadline, there's really two ways you can look at it. You can say, okay, I am content with what they did, or you can go the other way and say, well, they could have done more. And when I think about that, I sort of sit in the middle of both. They could have done a lot more. And I mean, at the same time, they've done the right amount. We're going to start off by going back to Saturday night. Travis Dermott steps in front of the camera. Reporters are asking him a lot of questions about a trade because it looks like at this point he was going to get moved. He was asked a lot about just his time with the Leafs, talked about how it was a dream to get drafted and everything like that. It looked like he was going to be moved. And as Sunday rolled around, 2 p.m. rolled around, the Leafs signed Harri Sateri, who was a Finnish goaltender who won gold with the Olympics and was in the KHL, and he had to clear waivers to come into the organization. So he was placed on waivers. Kyle Clifford was placed on waivers, as was Peter Mrazek. And as you could probably guess, every one of those players cleared other than Harri Sateri, who was claimed by Arizona. And now the Leafs have to go into the future with Erik Källgren, Joseph Woll, Michael Hutchinson, Peter Mrazek again, and Jack Campbell, who's nursing a rib injury right now. And from 2 p.m. on Sunday to 2 p.m. on Monday, there were 3 trades. One sending Travis Dermott to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for a 2022 third-round pick, which actually isn't a bad get for the Maple Leafs. It didn't look like Travis Dermott was going to get continuous amounts of games in the Leafs lineup, and it was just best for him and the Leafs to try and find a fit for him elsewhere where he can be in an NHL lineup on consecutive games and just have a spot there at all times. Another trade that happened on Sunday was, we all know, Mark Giordano and Colin Blackwell coming to Toronto from Seattle in exchange for, let me read it, a 2022 second round pick, a 2023 second round pick, and a 2024 third round pick, which, again, when you look at that, no Marlies prospects, no Leafs prospects, shall I say, that are going the other way. It's just draft picks, and that's really good when you look at it. You get a guy like Mark Giordano, who's spent a lot of time in the league. He's won a Norris Trophy. He's a veteran presence on the blue line, can play in any pairing, really, the second, third, even first, if they really needed them there, which I doubt with Morgan Rielly and now Ilya Lyubushkin showing that he can fit there as well. He'll be good, though, on the bottom half of the defense pairings, possibly reuniting with former teammate in Calgary, TJ Brodie, who he spent a lot of time playing with. That would be a really interesting pairing because, again, they both fit really well together. They know each other. That would free up Morgan Rielly to maybe play with Lyubushkin on the top pairing, which, again, they have been really good. Lyubushkin is a guy who is a stay-at-home defenseman. He's not looking to join the rush, and that would allow Morgan Rielly to hop up even more. And then maybe when you look at Jake Muzzin, instead of coming back to a second pairing, he would go to get a third pairing opportunity, maybe alongside Rasmus Sandin, who right now is also injured. There are a lot of players who are injured. Jack Campbell, Rasmus Sandin, it seems like he might be out for a few weeks. It seems like it's a knee injury that he suffered in their last game, which I don't remember what happened, but that is another thing, and he was placed on IR today. The other player they got from Seattle is Colin Blackwell, and I really like this. It's a really under-the-radar addition to the Maple Leafs lineup. I mean, he can play both the left and right wing. He can play up and down the lineup, but one thing I'll be looking for in particular is if he gets an opportunity with Tavares and Nylander to help spark that line a little bit, because it hasn't been playing up to the standards like they were early on in the season, and Blackwell could be one of those players who fits right there. But if he doesn't, there's always that third line where he could be really effective too. But I think if they can just find that chemistry on the second line and then have the ability to bring Kasha back eventually and have Kerfoot, you're looking at a very deep lineup that the Maple Leafs will have heading into the playoffs. But just looking at the lineup one more time, you have a top four of Riley, Lyubushkin, Brody, Giordano, again, Muzzin in that conversation as well. I forgot to mention Hall even earlier. He's another player who fits in that. And then you look at the top six of the Leafs forwards. You have Michael Bunting, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, Blackwell could fit there, Kerfoot, Kasha, Robertson. You have a lot of players. And then another thing that happened today is that the Leafs traded Alex Biega, who's on the Marlies, to the Nashville Predators in exchange for future considerations, which Kyle Dubas said after in a press conference earlier today that this was just to free up a roster spot or a contract slot, shall I say, to possibly even get Nick Abruzzese and Matt Knies over and signed and playing with the Leafs before the season ends. Now, that's a big one because they didn't make any more moves today. They didn't really acquire a lot of forwards other than Blackwell, and this seems like these two additions could be favorable ones that the Leafs could make. And Matt Knies, I mean, you watch him play, he's a big, strong, tall guy who is a very good power forward. And I mean, he would fit right in with the Leafs right now. There's no chance about that. He would fit, and really wherever he'd play, I think he would make an impact. Abruzzese, sort of the same way, but I think Knies sort of has a bigger ceiling when you look at it. But that is why Biega was traded. It's unfortunate because he was really strong with the Marlies and just an overall leadership presence in that locker room. A lot of players thought of him as the dad of the team, and it's unfortunate to see him go, but again, the Leafs do get the chance to get Matt Knies and Nick Abruzzese under contract if they want. And not even that. It could be another college player if Matt Knies or Abruzzese don't want to really sign and leave school yet. And that's really an opportunity for them to think about, and whether or not they want to do it, that is yet to be seen. But again, it opens up 2 contract slots, and now they have the chance to do a little bit more after the trade deadline. So earlier in the video, I said you could either be happy about the trade deadline, you could be a little bit meh, or you could be a little bit disappointed. Again, I'm going to say I'm in the middle. When you look at what they did, they acquired Lyubushkin already. That was a need. They got Giordano. That was a need. When you look at Blackwell, that was a need. They assessed all those things. The goaltending, they assessed that with Harry Sateri, and unfortunately, he's off to Arizona, and Peter Mrazek might go down to the Marlies. That's not yet to be seen, but Shalgren is there. Joseph Woll right now is out with a shoulder injury. Michael Hutchinson's there, and Jack Campbell's slowly returning. So they tried to acquire a goaltender that would fit, but unfortunately he went off to waivers, and that's the risk you have to take with that. And yes, just to be clear, there were no Marlies players on AHL deals that were signed by the Maple Leafs today, which means after today's 3 p.m. deadline, which is already passed, no Marlies players, including Josh Hosang, Curtis Douglas, a few others cannot be signed to an NHL contract until the offseason. So again, it wasn't a good trade deadline when you look at the teams like Colorado, Florida, really beefing up their teams. Even Tampa got a little bit stronger. The Leafs aren't considered favorites to win the Cup at this point, but there's a strong chance that just the timing of everything, Jack Campbell finding his rhythm once he returns, Jake Muzzin finding his rhythm once he returns, maybe even Peter Mrazek finding his rhythm in the crease along with Campbell. All these recipes could really come together into one and really possibly hit at the right time for the Maple Leafs to get through that first round that they haven't done in a long time. But again, we're not going to really know that until the playoffs happen, and we're going to have to wait till then to see A, where they slot in and who they're going to face, and B, whether or not this team has the potential to get through that first round. But yeah, we've reached the end of the video, so let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of this year's trade deadline by Kyle Dubas and the Maple Leafs. Was it good? Was it bad? Did you want them to do anything else? Let me know in the comments section down below, and if you did enjoy the video, again, make sure to leave a like. Let's try and hit 100 likes on this video. That would be amazing. That would be unheard of, I'm gonna say. And again, if you do enjoy the video, as always, make sure to subscribe. That helps a lot in terms of showing me that you're enjoying the content. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.